I really appreciate everybody coming to AEW World's End. To me, 2025 has been such a special year, and I really appreciate all you coming. I want to stay as long as possible, get in, take as many questions. We got some of the top stars, great champions from AEW here. And Renee, what a great night we had. Thank you very much for everything you did to make it possible. And with that, we could start taking questions and bring in great champions and start with some of the best. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, guys, please welcome, and still, our AEW Women's World Champion, Miss Kris Statlander. Stat Daddy did it again. She did it again.
Thank you. Thank you.
How you feeling? You guys beat the crap out of each other.
Oh, I'm feeling beat up.
Yeah, I bet.
Per usual.
Does this victory feel different to you than your last one?
They all feel very similar, but also very different. Each one is it's a milestone of its own. You know, I've defeated Toni Storm, Mercedes Moné, Jamie Hayter, people that have all had wins over me before. And now I'm proving, not that I'm better than them, but I have accomplished more than they have. I've taken them out, and now the list of people that are capable of beating me is getting shorter and shorter, but there's still so many out there that I would love to give a shot to.
All right, that being said, guys, the floor is yours. Let's rifle off some questions to the champ.
Thank you. Congratulations, Kris. My name is Mike Morano. I'm with Mike Vice on YouTube. My question to you is pretty simple. Tonight, you seemed very, very different in that ring. At one point where I was sitting, it looked like you even spit in Jamie Hayter's face. So obviously things happen in the heat of competition. But you have a newfound confidence, even walking in here into this room. Just writing off all of the people who you've defeated. My question to you is, what has changed? You flipped the script since, becoming AEW Women's World Champion. So what has changed?
Yes, well, I will start off by saying you were not mistaken with what you saw. I did do that. However, one thing that has changed is, I've said it a few times now, my sob story is over. I am not an underdog. I feel like my whole build to becoming champion, people were still like, maybe one day it'll be her moment, but now I'm proving that my moment is now. I am the champion, and I have every right to be as confident as I am. And I told Jamie leading into this match, she was a former champion. She knows what it's like to be on top, and I was in the same place as her. I feel like me being a little bit more, not aggressive, but I was trying to antagonize her in a way to bring that champion spirit back out of her, because I'm all about meeting me at my level, meeting me at the champion's level. And I'm just trying to bring that fire out of her and every other person that wants a shot, really. Mm-hmm.
Kyle Collison, Knockouts and 3 Counts and Bodyslam.net. Going into this match, you've already talked about how you vanquished 3 of your biggest losses. Where does beating Jamie rank on those? And, going into this match, you guys were both widely considered 2 of the strongest competitors in the women's division here in AEW. Are you now the finisher master in this as well? Because you guys both traded the Haterade, and you were able to get your finish and get the win with that one.
I mean, I guess so. You can call me the finisher if you really want to. It's hard to really rank which win is more meaningful than the other, because Jamie and I have only ever wrestled in a singles match once, and she had the win over me. She was a better woman then, but I took my time. I learned how to better myself. Obviously, she stepped up to the plate too. I do think we both are still very much the top 2 hard hitters of the women's division, and it's refreshing. And I'm not sure. Sometimes my brain forgets what I'm trying to say at some point.
Have you had a long day, perhaps?
Perhaps I might have, yes. Jamie, I think Jamie, Mercedes, Toni, even Mina. Mina's also, she's my first my first defense. They're all kind of ranked equally for me because everything that I do as champion is very intentional, and everything means something. So every person that I face, every person I will face will be as equally important to making me the champion that I am.
2 more questions for the champ.
Okay. Hi, I'm Marqueta from the Normies, and our question is, with AEW and women's wrestling becoming more popular every day, what's something about yourself you want new fans to know?
I would love new fans to know that wrestling was not always my passion my whole life. It's something that I discovered a little bit later, but look at me now. It's something that has become my passion the more that I learned about it and the more that I really let wrestling kind of take over my life in a good way. And it's, I think, in a broad way of putting it, it's never too late to follow your dreams. It's never too late to be the best version of yourself. And you can literally do anything in the world.
That does deserve some applause.
You can do anything, be anything. You could be a champ, but not while I'm the champ, so.
Do we have a last question?
Abe Cannon, 98 Rock. That spot from the top rope was the most devastating spot I've ever seen in a female match. It looked like you murdered her in the ring.
Well, clearly I didn't, because I still had to do
The crowd
more.
was so scared when you hit that move. Is that your greatest is that the greatest, most devastating move you've done in a match?
I don't know, because I've done a lot of hardcore matches, so I feel like there's been some grosser things that I've done, but it was definitely, definitely a necessary evil, I will say. So I'm glad it scared everyone. However, I'm not glad that it didn't work. So she's pretty tough, but it's fine.
Well, Chris, congratulations on retaining your championship. You guys had
Thank
such
you.
an incredible match tonight. I'm sure you got to go ice up and mend that body, but congratulations, and excited to see what 2026 holds for you.
Yes, thank you so
Fantastic.
much. Thank you.
Congrats. Way to go. Let's go, champ. Thank you very much.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Thought the champ said it perfectly. She picked up wins recently against 3 of the greatest stars in all of wrestling: Timeless Tony Storm, Mercedes Moné, and of course now Jamie Hayter. All of them great champions in the world of wrestling. And now Chris Statlander has cemented herself to end 2025 as one of the greatest champions of all. What a great match, and that was great to hear from the champ. And speaking of the great champions of wrestling, I think we've got another great champion joining us, along with a former champion and 2 of the most popular stars in AEW coming in, I think, right now. What a great pay-per-view, and some guys who picked up the win in a very fun match, a very different match. Multiple people after the great one-on-one match. We got the TNT champion and his partner in the Conglomeration, Orange Cassidy.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, congrats.
all right?
Congrats. Thank you, man. Let's go, buddy.
Same.
Let's do it. Hey, thank you, man. Thank
Mark,
you.
do you have a word of the
Orange
day
Cassidy.
today? Not to put you on the spot,
Well, here
but
we
I'm
are
putting you
at
on the
the-
spot.
Here we are at the Scrum. I feel like Scrum diddly-umptious works for me.
Come on, dude. That's
Word of the day.
Nailed it.
Thank you, Orange.
Nailed it.
Day.
Yep.
If you guys have any questions for Mark Briscoe or Orange Cassidy.
6 syllables.
a record, man.
I gotta say, after an incredible Continental Classic and after an incredible pay-per-view, we had a lot of fun in the Mixed Nuts Mayhem, and it's going to be a lot of fun, I think, going into 2026. But some of the most fun highlights involved the Conglomeration and the 2 of you. So I thought it'd be fun to hear from you guys, and I thought we've had an incredible year, and really nice to close it out with you guys picking up a win together today.
Do you guys have any kind of a medical update on Roderick Strong after that blow to the face from Marina Shafir?
Well, it would look like a bolt of lightning with the speed that foot hit him in the jaw. But no, I think he's going to be all right. I hope he will. But yeah, that was a swift kick to the face, if you will. But yeah, Tony, 2025 has been an amazing year here in AEW. And I mean, to me, as first and foremost a wrestling fan, it just feels really good to be part of this. And it's like pro wrestling is back, baby. It's like really feels good.
Absolutely. Well, it's great to see you guys picking up the win tonight, and you guys are two of the greatest fan favorites. You're a great champion, and Orange, you were part of what I think could be the greatest Continental Classic yet, some of the best matches in AEW history, and glad to see you getting back to ending the year on a high note after some great matches in the Continental Classic.
I didn't win.
Yeah, that's true, but tonight you guys did win.
Tonight I won.
Tonight was a happier times after John Moxley spoiled your Christmas, and tonight you guys had an absolutely fantastic match, and I really appreciate you all being here. Of course, we got New Year's Smash coming up Wednesday, and then we're heading back to the Esports Stadium, and we've had some great moments and memories in the Esports Stadium, especially you, Mark. I've had some of the best memories and moments ever in wrestling there. So if there's any questions for the Conglomeration members.
Josh from Deporticus on YouTube. Orange Cassidy, you seemed like you had excellent chemistry with Tony Storm, specifically with those dance moves. Can we expect any more teamwork from the two of you going forward?
God willing.
That's a lot of chemistry there, and I thought that was interesting, and also noteworthy. I thought Timeless Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa, two great singles wrestlers, two great champions as singles wrestlers, but also a great tag team. You have another great women's world tag team champion in the Conglomeration, Willow Nightingale and Harley, the Babes of Wrath.
That's right. Should we bring those gals out?
We could bring them all in. Let's bring them in.
Ladies!
You know,
Babes of Wrath, yeah.
bring in
Babes
the
of
Babes of Wrath, Conglomeration, Babes of Wrath. Ships passing in the Conglomeration.
I guess I'll stand up
Ocean.
behind them because I'm a gentleman.
That's fun. You guys
That's
can.
nice.
Did you get that jacket for Christmas?
No.
No, you didn't?
There's so
You
many
said-
champions in the Conglomeration.
Call the pairing, or I mean, I guess it's more than two. Our friendship, Glom of Wrath.
Glom of Wrath. Wow, what a friendship it is.
Where's the best place do you want to be here? Do you need to be on the end?
You.
I can project. I
Congrats.
came in with a little ditty. If it's okay with you guys.
She wouldn't be Harley if she didn't.
Right?
And it's great.
I
We
was
love-
so overwhelmed with emotion that I wrote a little song for Willow if I can perform it for you guys. Yes?
Yes!
All right, now be forgiving. I did just write it in the corridor.
She just, yeah.
Right now.
We're all hearing it for the first time.
It's called the Babes of Wrath. That happens to be our tag team name. I wasn't looking, but now that I found her, if I let you go, I'd be crazy. You're so damn strong, and I love your power bomb. Everything you do, you're amazing. Right?
Yeah!
Yeah.
This is a love song.
I wrote this song hoping you'd sing along. A little bit of something I'm confessing. Okay, and this is the good part. This is where I come to the chorus. And it feels so right. It feels like I've tagged with you my entire life. And I've just done the math. We're your AEW Tag Team Champions. And we're the Babes of Wrath.
Babes of Wrath!
Babes of Wrath.
Babes of Wrath!
Babes of Wrath.
Scream with me! Babes of Wrath!
Thank you.
I'm touched.
The multi-talented, first-time ever AEW Women's Tag Team Champions. You guys did the damn thing tonight.
We did.
Thank you.
You
Appreciate
did
that.
it. You did it.
Inaugural.
So this was your guys' first time defending the championships, going up against Athena, Mercedes Moné. How do you feel after this match in terms of solidifying yourselves even further as champions?
Do you want to take it, Harley, or?
In song, please.
In song. We are sore.
We are tired.
But we are, you know what, I feel like we knew coming into this was going to be a challenge because Athena and Mercedes, are both incredible athletes. No doubt about it. But we have, from day one, had a belief within ourselves. And I think that tonight we proved that everything we believe to be true. We are your tag team champions for a reason, and I couldn't be more proud of this woman too, and I couldn't be more proud to be by your side. So we knew we were up for a challenge, but I am proud to say that we bought it, and we delivered, and we are still your AEW Women's Tag Team Champions tonight, and I'm proud to say that.
Very proud. You're still the Women's World Tag Team Champions. There's a lot of championships in the conglomeration. I think we're all very proud of Willow. Willow scored a win over the TBS champion, Mercedes Moné, tonight. So if anybody hasn't seen or heard, there's a lot of championships in the conglomeration. And now after Willow scored a win over Mercedes Moné tonight, you'll have a chance to take more championships. The TNT champion is in the conglomeration, but after Mercedes Moné and Willow were involved in this tag team finish tonight, I think it would be very appropriate. I've announced for the TBS championship on New Year's Eve, this Wednesday on New Year's Smash, Willow Nightingale, the former TBS champion, current Women's World Tag Team champion, versus Mercedes Moné for the TBS title on New Year's Smash this Wednesday. So you'll have a great opportunity this Wednesday night.
Yeah. I feel like, if I'm being completely honest, there were points in this year where I felt like maybe I was losing a little bit of faith in myself from time to time. But one of the really great things about this year for me is when I felt alone, I always came to work and was able to look around and find people who were cheering for me or rooting for me or lifting my spirit when I felt like I couldn't do it myself. That's looking at the conglomeration. That's looking at, I went into Anarchy in the arena with awesome tag partners. I found Harley and now I have her, and it's really been kind of like a spin at the end of the year to just kind of, when I felt kind of low after some downs I had last year, to look around and be like, oh, this is a year about connection and like the friends I've been able to make through wrestling. And obviously, like now we have the tag team championships, which is awesome. But like before this, so much of it was like singles titles. You're doing this on your own. You're going out as a singles competitor, and it's been really lovely to be uplifted by others and now be the inaugural tag team champ with Harley and have this like renewed spirit and invigoration and like faith in myself, and to go into something, even though like I know that the match on Wednesday, it's for a singles title. I have all these people rooting for me, cheering for me. They are the wind beneath my wings. So I'm excited, I'm ecstatic about the opportunity, and hopefully we end this year with a bang.
Yeah.
Great answer. Let's go, Willow.
Any other questions for the AEW Women's Tag Team Champs?
I've got a question for Harley. For the most part, you've always been talked about obviously being one of the most entertaining women that we see in wrestling right now. But I feel like now, as you guys being the tag team champions, you're finally getting a chance to show what you can do in the ring aside from just the entertainment stuff. What does it mean to you now to not only be a champion, but to be able to be seen for your entertainment and what you can do in the ring?
I really like that question because it's something that drives me. When I first started my wrestling journey, I did have people say to me, well, it doesn't matter how you are in the ring because you're really entertaining. And nothing lit a fire in my ass more than hearing people say that, because I thought, well, I know my background is in entertainment. I'm aware of that. However, my heart is in wrestling, and that is where I was new to everything and I wanted to learn and improve and grow. And I will say there is no better feeling than to not be looked at as the entertainer who sometimes wrestles, but to be clearly a very, I'd like to say a passionate and motivated performer in the ring. And I think that this year has been a great opportunity for me to show that my passion is wrestling. That is where I want to grow. I want to better myself. I want to be a great representative of this company. And I want to thank Tony Khan so much for giving me the opportunities to showcase what I knew was within myself. And I'm so proud today to be one of the first ever, AEW Tag Team Champions with Willow in the Babes of Wrath, because
I'm proud of you too.
Thank you, babe. There's no better feeling than to say, you know, I am a wrestler. I appreciate you saying I'm entertaining, and I am very flattered to that, but in my heart, more than anything, I'm a wrestler, and I'm proud to be a wrestler for All Elite Wrestling.
One more question for the babes. Who's got it? Any takers? And on that note, okay, slid in under. Here we go.
This is for Willow. I don't know if
Howdy.
you saw Mercedes through what can only be described as a hissy fit after the match. Now that you guys are going to be fighting each other pretty soon, do you have any words of wisdom for her, since you have this kind of zen year that you've had now? Any words of advice for Mercedes?
I think Mercedes and I are both at a very interesting point with one another. You know, the first time I had ever wrestled her, I felt like 110% the underdog. I felt like this is in New Japan for the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. You know, I feel like people really didn't even think I had any chance and were just happy to see me in that position. And I did what competitors do, and I made the best of the situation I was put in, and I came out on top as the champion. And when a lot of people didn't expect me to flourish, I did. And then when she came to AEW, I was a champion. And you know what? I shouldn't have felt like an underdog, but somehow I still did in that situation. And she got the better of me. And I think we've both had really long, different journeys since then. But I think we've both surprised one another in the past. And especially in the past few weeks, we've been able to surprise one another. So I think whatever happens next week is a matter of us both having kind of like, I don't know, I can't say if she has a respect for me, honestly. And I know she used some very colorful language when addressing our upcoming match. So I don't know that there's necessarily mutual respect, but I think she at least recognizes that getting in the ring with Willow is no walk in the park. And so I think we'll both show up well studied and with a lot of fire in our bellies, and we're both champs. And I'm hoping it'll be a match where we both show exactly why we're, our respective champions. And I hope to show her more of why I deserve to be a champion. And everyone else.
Hell yeah.
We've got one more question at the back.
Isaiah's Power 92.
Hello, Isaiah.
So for pinning Mercedes Moné, as well as the recent slide that she's been going through at the tail end of this year, do you believe that there's an extra vote of confidence going into this match against Mercedes Moné?
An extra vote of confidence for me or for her? For me? I wouldn't take it that way, because I think sometimes that's exactly the kind of thing that is someone's misstep, right? If I'm like, oh, I'm feeling extra confident, extra cocky, you don't prepare the way you should, you don't play the game you should, and so I know who she is. She became Alta Monet, for a reason. I don't think, there's any way you could undermine the past year, really almost 2 years that she's had has been like the stuff of legends. So I can't walk in there with any extra boost because of what her more recent months have been. I have to look at the person she always has been. I admired her for so long, and I know what she's capable of. So I definitely won't be going in there being like, I'm feeling good because she's a little shaken. I don't think that's the case. I think she's a lethal person to be in there with.
That's why you're going to win. You know what I'm saying?
There it is.
Well,
the wind beneath my wings, everybody.
It's going to be a great show. I'm excited for New Year's Eve. It's been a great year so far for the Conglomeration. There's been so many great moments. You mentioned Anarchy in the Arena you were involved in, and Double or Nothing was the show of the year, best show of the year is voted by Sports Illustrated, and AEW, the promotion of the year, is voted by Sports Illustrated, and the Conglomeration now with championships, with the Women's World Tag Team Championship, the TNT Championship, and potentially, we'll see what happens on New Year's Eve, you have a chance to add the TBS Championship to close out what's been a great 2025 so far for the Conglomeration and AEW.
Well, let's hope I can end it with a bang.
That's great.
All right, let's have something to toast to in the New Year's.
That's great. Well, Happy New Year. Let's have a great New Year's Smash, New Year's Eve. I'll see you all Wednesday night.
Awesome. Thanks to the babes. Thanks to the Conglomeration.
Thank you, Renee.
Thank you, Renee.
Thank you for serenading me, Harley.
Thank you, Renee. You look gorgeous. Oh, you're welcome. Yes. Do you like that? I wrote that just now.
I know.
Very good.
I
Wow,
know.
made it up.
I'm not happy.
Congratulations.
I couldn't wear the red dress any longer.
Congratulations.
Whoa!
You guys,
I'm a wrestler, not particularly graceful. Please excuse me.
It's okay.
I said I wasn't clumsy.
We'll see.
And with that, good night.
Congrats, Chance.
That's rock and roll, baby.
Wow.
Bye, guys.
What a scene. Hey,
Woo.
thanks for.
I'm gonna move over. Should I move here? Should I have a
Yeah,
buffer
well,
between
you
us?
were a great wrestling,
Stay with us.
great wrestling media, but you were also a great concert audience for that. And that's there you go.
I'm just gonna open my diary
Just like-
before we keep talking, so it's not annoying.
That's great. Well, that was something unexpected to break into song there, and we get something new every one of these. Well, you never know. So many great things we can talk about. It was a great pay-per-view, and it's been a great year for AEW, and I'm excited to close it out. We have one show left this year. It's New Year's Smash this Wednesday night. New Year's Eve, we're going to have a big New Year's Eve Wednesday night, and I thought this was a great last pay-per-view. Certainly I thought the last Collision of the year, the Christmas night show.
Really knocked it out of the park.
Really, yeah. I thought that the last Collision of the year was possibly the best Collision yet all year. We closed it out with a fantastic pay-per-view to close out a great year of pay-per-views. Like I said, Double or Nothing was voted the best pay-per-view of the year, the best show of the entire year by Sports Illustrated, which is obviously a very great publication. I grew up reading Sports Illustrated since I was 6 years old. It's one of the first magazines, I think the first magazine I ever read as a kid and read on a regular basis, and I never even dreamed they would cover pro wrestling, let alone be naming AEW the greatest promotion. So a lot of great things to talk about. Certainly this year, I thought we ended on a high note. Like I said, Christmas Collision featuring 6 Continental Classic matches, all 12 wrestlers in the tournament wrestling on the same night for the first time on the final night. I thought it was maybe the best Collision ever. Just in my own personal opinion, Christmas Collision was awesome. I hope a lot of people enjoyed that Christmas night at home with their families. Then tonight, a great pay-per-view to end what's been a great year of pay-per-views, because Double or Nothing, like I said, was voted the best show, but there's been so many great shows, whether it was AEW All In, Texas, and so many great shows. And tonight, I thought was another great pay-per-view to close out what's been a great year of pay-per-view, and there's one Dynamite left. So many great Dynamites this year, and we're going to have a great New Year's Smash. We've already announced big championship matches. We just talked about the TBS championship match, Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné, after Willow Nightingale scored the pin on the TBS champion tonight, retaining the Women's World Tag Team title for the Babes of Wrath, but also earning herself another chance at the TBS championship at New Year's Smash. It's going to be great. We've got the national championship match with Jungle Jack Perry, who scored a win over the national champion Ricochet tonight. Ricochet putting the national title on the line on Dynamite against Jungle Jack. I think that's going to be great. Jungle Jack was fantastic in the Continental Classic. I thought so many great matches for him in the tournament. Coming in as an underdog, coming in one behind after Darby Allin was knocked out by injury. So many things that made this Continental Classic, to me, maybe the best one yet. 33 matches in the tournament. So many great matches in the tournament, ending on such a high note tonight. And a new world champion. We'll hear from MJF, the new world champion, on Wednesday. Ended on a big match with 4 great world champions in a 4-way match. To end, I thought, a great pay-per-view. And I really appreciate you all being here so I can take any and all questions. It's great to see you all. I
have a question.
Yeah, Renee, what can I answer for you?
Do you know a good dentist?
Oh, yes, I do. I know a lot of them. And up here, I'm from Illinois, so I can recommend my childhood dentist, actually. So it's good. I grew up here, so it's good. But I have a lot of friends who are here. My college roommate, his dad's an optometrist. He was in the front row, but I don't have a dentist that was in the building. But I do know some good dentists.
We'll
It's
send
good.
out some feelers.
But wow, what a Continental Classic final, and after 33 great matches, a great champion, John Moxley, and certainly the tournament was incredible, and very powerful words from John Moxley to close out the tournament. And certainly, yes, we will be looking for a dentist, to your point.
We're going to hear some words from
Yes,
you.
thank
We're going
you,
to take some
Renee. I
questions
appreciate it.
from the media.
Josh from Deporticus on YouTube. Thank you so much for taking my question. With this being the first pay-per-view since AEW being named Promotion of the Year, there's likely a lot of people checking out AEW for the first time. What's one message that you'd like to send to any fan who maybe just purchased their first AEW pay-per-view tonight?
Well, thank you very much. I think that they got to see so many of the great wrestlers. AEW is where the best wrestle. It's all elite wrestling, and I think you saw that throughout the show. The best wrestlers and the best wrestling. So many great matches. The Continental Classic, great semifinal matches, and a great final. A great four-way match to close out the show. Great Women's World Championship match, World Tag Team Championship matches. And top to bottom, so much fun and entertainment. The Mixed Mayhem got great responses from the crowd.
Great.
That was a lot of fun. So many great things on this show. And Darby Allin versus Gabe Kidd, fantastic, and great to see Darby Allin return to action after our last pay-per-view. We had gone right into the Continental Classic, and it was just days after our last Scrum, Full Gear. We went into Thanksgiving and had Darby Allin knocked out of this tournament, and it was scary, and I wasn't sure when he'd be back in action and how long it would take. I'm just glad he's back and able to pick up a win in his first match back. So that was really another tremendous thing about tonight. So for this to be, like you said, first pay-per-view since we were named the Promotion of the Year, which is a huge honor by Sports Illustrated to be named this year the best wrestling promotion in the world, which they've been giving these awards out. Last year we won some awards. This year we won even more awards. And so many great wrestlers individually had great years, whether it was Mercedes Moné being named the best female wrestler of the year, Hangman Page the best male wrestler of the year, and Hangman Page versus John Moxley being named the best rivalry of the year. Hangman Page, his rise and what we saw him do from the early part of the year, even going from that Texas Death Match at Maximum Carnage, which is now a full year ago, retiring Christopher Daniels throughout the year, his rivalry with MJF through Revolution, and then really his redemption. We saw the great match, which was one of the best matches of the year, I thought, and then certainly a huge part of why Double or Nothing was voted the best show of the entire year in pro wrestling was Hangman Page versus Will Ospreay, a pivotal point. And Will Ospreay and so many people in the AEW locker room helped Hangman take down the Death Riders, take down John Moxley, and Hangman really redeem himself. He's still one of the greatest and most popular stars, and certainly so many great awards, including, I mentioned Will Ospreay, who was voted the best in-ring wrestler in the world. And for AEW to continue delivering at this level throughout the year at a high in-ring level, missing somebody who many of the top journalists consider to be the greatest in-ring wrestler in the world, that's saying something. Last year, the Continental Classic featured Will Ospreay, and this year we went back. Darby Allin was a big part of the tournament last year too. This year going back with Darby Allin getting knocked out on the first day and Will Ospreay not being here due to injury. I thought the Continental Classic was at just as high every bit of the level, maybe the best one yet. So, and AEW is where the best wrestle. So even with the best in-ring wrestler in the world possibly out, and the man voted that, Will Ospreay, we've continued to excel, even though we all miss Will Ospreay every day, and can't wait to have him back at AEW. And then with him being voted the best in-ring wrestler in the world, we also had the best wrestler on the microphone, Timeless Tony Storm, who was a big part. Like I said, we got great response.
Tony in the scrums.
Yeah, well, with Timeless Tony, she's a huge part of it. In the Mixed Nuts Mayhem, we get her back out here. She's wild, and she was part of that winning team we saw up here. So Timeless Tony Storm, absolutely fantastic, voted best on the microphone. FTR voted the best tag team in the world, picked up the win in the Chicago Street Fight. Another big win for them and what's been a fantastic 2025 for the team voted by Sports Illustrated best tag team in the world. And Kyle Fletcher, the breakout wrestler, and some of the best matches ever in the Continental Classic, I would say, were Kyle Fletcher this year. He had a great run. He won last year the Blue League in the Continental Classic. This year, Kyle Fletcher came out and won the Gold League in the Continental Classic. It came down to the last day, and what a tournament. Every match on Christmas had stakes, and Kyle Fletcher picked up a huge win and a great match with Jack Perry. I think his match with Speedball Bailey may have been one of the greatest matches ever in the history of this tournament. So many great matches. A great match with Pac in Manchester. And tonight, Jon Moxley versus Kyle Fletcher could be the single greatest match ever in this tournament. So many great matches for him, the breakout wrestler of the year, and many deserving awards. And again, everyone in AEW and all the fans and everybody who watched a show, bought a ticket, came to a show, watched clips of AEW, anybody, and especially the wrestlers and staff and everybody who supported the company, shares in the big award promotion of the year, the best wrestling promotion in the world, AEW. And for a company that went out there and secured a TV deal worth hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to go out in the first year of the deal and 52 weeks a year, put out now one show to go, 103 out of 104. I think fantastic shows. We got New Year's Smash, and everything's been fantastic, I think, for us this year. To me, it's been so important for us because after having AEW be successful on TBS and TNT for years, to continue having a great year on TBS and TNT, but also to have a successful launch on HBO Max, and now have the pay-per-views on HBO Max as well, the library, and deliver at a high-quality level, 52 weeks a year with, I think, what's been, just in my own personal opinion, the best year of the TV yet, and I think the best year of pay-per-views, which has always been our calling card, and to close it out on a high note, like I said, with maybe the best Collision yet on Christmas a few days ago, another fantastic pay-per-view. You could argue all year about what some of the best pay-per-views and matches on these shows have been. We're going to have a great New Year's Smash on New Year's Eve this Wednesday, and then celebrate it in Omaha. And
I'll have a party, right?
Yeah, and it's going to be great. And I'm heading to Indianapolis for Jaguars Colts, which is great. After the last scrum, I had a much longer trip to Arizona, and we got the win in overtime. So hopefully I'll be celebrating again after this scrum and another road game, but a much shorter trip than when I went from Newark to Arizona. So, and with that, I can take all the questions. I'm here as long as you want. Hey.
Hi, Tony. Happy holidays. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. My name is Mike Morano with Mike Vice on YouTube. AEW has had a banner 2025, and obviously, listening to you and everything like that, it's not just me saying it. Sports Illustrated is also saying it. With that being said, what would you tell fans of other promotions who feel somewhat jaded or felt somewhat... It's hard to put into words, but somewhat insulted by other promotions with how they're treated. How would you bring those fans over to AEW to show them the quality that you guys continue to put out with countless events, including tonight in Chicago?
Well, that's a great question. Let me think about that. That's a great question. First of all, I love pro wrestling, and I think it's just an honor to receive awards. There's multiple outlets that are issuing awards, and you know, I think we've been the beneficiary of great support from the fans, and also so far it's been a good award season for AEW, and we mentioned Sports Illustrated, but I think there's other outlets that have given awards and are giving awards, and I've heard that so far things are looking good for us in some of the other categories, and I'm very proud of that, and I think for all the wrestling promotions, we try to work with promotions all over the world. We have great relationships with great companies, and I'm a big fan of pro wrestling. I think there's been so many great things all over the world, but I'm really proud that so many of the best matches and moments and so many of the greatest wrestlers in the world, individually and teams, and great rivalries and matches have been here. So we put together a great year. It's something really special to be able to do 2 shows a week, every single week, 52 weeks a year, and put out 104 TV shows and putting out 104 TV shows. To do that and put out 208 hours of TV plus all the pay-per-views, it's really an honor to do it and do it at a high level like we've been able to do. And there's a unique challenge whenever people come into this environment. There's nothing like American TV wrestling to do week after week of TV. And to me, we've been doing. Originally, we launched with 2 hours of Dynamite, and now as we've grown to do 2-hour shows. Collision has just been, to me, this year, some of the best matches and moments have been there, too. Dynamite's always been a fantastic 2-hour show. And throughout AEW's run, with now over 300 episodes. And with Collision, we've been doing it for a few years. And to me, some of the best episodes have been this year. Early in the year, Grand Slam Australia, I thought was maybe the best Collision ever. But then Christmas Collision just a few days ago, I thought was also setting the bar very high, maybe the best one we've done to date. And I'm very proud of that. It's a unique challenge to be able to do 2 shows a week, and me to have the wrestlers continue to deliver, and even when there's been injuries, to have more stars step up. That's what's made 2025 so special when you look at the body of work and how many great TV and pay-per-view shows we've done. And there's been so much great wrestling all over the world, and I'm just proud that a lot of it, I think, has been in AEW. So thanks for asking. Hey.
How's it going, Tony? Zach with Sports Illustrated.
Hey!
Figured that was coming. Question for you. At the beginning of the show today, a promo aired with Adam Cole in it on the big screen, and he hinted at potentially might be being involved in 2026, or fans might be able to see him in 2026. Are there plans for him at this point, or is there any kind of medical update that you can give Adam Cole fans?
Well, there's certainly no pressure. I was just really happy to hear from Adam Cole, and I thought the fans would be so happy to see him. And obviously, Adam Cole has been a great champion in AEW, and it was important for Adam Cole to step away and prioritize his health and well-being. We love him. He's a great star here. And absolutely, like we said when he spoke earlier, we want Adam Cole to be involved in AEW. And I don't have any health updates other than to say you can see he's doing well, and he's excited about AEW. This has been such a great Continental Classic. Again, 33 fantastic matches, capped off with 3 great matches tonight. Some of the best matches in the history of the tournament happened in 2025. Some of the most exciting scenarios, and what a great thing it was to have the Christmas Collision have 6 matches with high stakes in all 6 for the tournament. So with Adam Cole, no particular update other than to say you can see he's doing well. And since we'd last heard from him when he had to vacate the TNT Championship at AEW All in Texas, it was a sad moment. It was a hard moment for a lot of the fans and for a lot of us in AEW. So we were so happy to hear from him tonight to end the year at AEW World's End on a high note.
Hell of an analyst, too. He really nailed that.
He's very good, right?
He was
He's
really good.
Excellent host.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
Over here, Tony. Hi, Tony. You were talking about the media rights issue a few questions ago. So I want to ask, theoretically speaking, you'd want the promotion to peak in popularity before the negotiations for the next media rights. Are you thinking, how long-term are you thinking about storylines? Are you thinking about who's going to be the major players, the angles, who's going to be the champion in late 2027?
Absolutely. I'm looking at spotlighting the top stars in AEW. We've got some huge things to look forward to. I'm very focused on, we've got New Year's Smash this Wednesday, one major event left in 2025, and then 2026 is going to be a huge year for AEW. And there's some major events, including tickets are going very fast in Los Angeles at the Crypto.com arena for the Revolution, and we had a great show there, and we'll have I believe a sellout crowd after a sold-out World's End tonight, a packed house in this amazing arena where we've had so many great events tonight. Great crowd. We'll have a great crowd at Revolution, and then I'm looking ahead to Wembley Stadium, AEW All in London, and there's been some very special moments, including the great memory of breaking the world record, selling the most tickets of any wrestling event ever, over 81,000 tickets sold at Wembley Stadium. We'll go back there for AEW All in Wembley. So big moments and big events, big rivalries, huge matches ahead. But there is one great event this Wednesday night, New Year's Smash, one of the big events in AEW to close out 2025. I'm not overlooking that. I can't wait for this Wednesday, and want to close out 2025 on a high note with Dynamite. And 2026 is going to be a huge year. You mentioned media rights. We're signed for years to come through 2027 and planning ahead for years to come. So I'm very focused on the years ahead, but I'm also very grateful. It's been a great year. We're very proud of our great media partner, Warner Brothers Discovery. We've been able to work with them for years, and I'm very proud that we've been putting out great shows, and I think our fans are very happy with what AEW's delivered, and not only getting awards from great outlets and great journalists, but also a great reception from our fans and a sold-out arena tonight, and a lot of big crowds to come. Like I said, Revolution trending very well. That'll be our next big pay-per-view event. We have some great events, though, on Dynamite and Collision before Revolution. And again, you asked about the big tentpole events, and doesn't get any bigger than our huge AEW All-In London event coming up at Wembley Stadium in August of 26. And looking ahead on the calendar, we'll also be heading to Australia for Grand Slam Australia in February. Maximum Carnage is coming up in Arizona in a few weeks in January, looking ahead to that. So a lot of great things coming up as far as the big tentpole events, and very proud of what we've delivered in 2025 with one show left to go this Wednesday, New Year's Eve. Hey.
Hey, Tony. Hi, also Renee. Thank you so much for having us here, and congratulations on a successful pay-per-view tonight. What I wanted to ask you is, AEW is mostly known for the competition at the highest levels, but also for being rich in storytelling. What is your vision, and I dare say even like a plan that you have going into 2026 to continue enriching the storytelling and the execution to continue drawing in new fans to the AEW product?
Well, thank you. I think it's really, AEW to me is about having great fans. Like tonight, I think so far everything I've heard, the pay-per-view is trending incredibly well. Based on all the early numbers, and having a sellout crowd. That's the most important thing, having happy fans that believe in AEW and having the best wrestlers in the world. So I think you saw that being showcased throughout 2025 and ending the year on a very positive note with a great show featuring so many of the greatest wrestlers, top champions, top stars, great rivalries, Continental Classic, again, showing why it's one of the greatest tournaments in all of wrestling. And always ending AEW on a high note, having some of the greatest champions, some of the greatest veterans and young champions in pro wrestling. And I think going into 2026, that should still be the case. And again, there's one show left on New Year's Eve to look forward to this Wednesday. But 2025 has been a great year. AEW is known for, I think, having the best rivalries. Thank you for saying that. I do believe there's a lot of great stories that are produced, and we work really hard to put the best matches and the best rivalries. There are great stories, I think, in AEW, and if you watch the TV shows in 2025 and the pay-per-views throughout the year, I think that's been showcased. So thank you for saying that, and I think we'll continue to do that because the wrestlers are the best in AEW, and we've got the best fans. Thanks for saying it.
I'll take a couple more questions for Mr. Khan.
Tony, Ted with Premier Wrestling Online. Question for you. A lot of people consider you to be a wrestling savant. Can you please explain what it felt like, or your perspective on hearing thousands of fans cheer for Jon Moxley tonight after almost 2 years of him terrorizing this company?
Can I be honest with you?
Yes,
I'm
please.
not surprised at all, because I think that Jon Moxley is one of the greatest wrestlers in the world. And after he had been...
He's very handsome as well.
He's very handsome. And I think that the fans have always loved Jon Moxley. If you look at some of the great moments in AEW history, he's been involved from the very first show. He was always a very popular star. And there were elements of the Death Riders to me, and I believed this, that certainly fans didn't like. And people all have always liked Jon Moxley, even though he did things, whether it was the betrayal of Bryan Danielson. And I thought Bryan Danielson gave a very balanced commentary for somebody, again, who he said had a plastic bag put over his head by Jon Moxley in this very building over a year ago, to see how things have come. Was I surprised to see a positive reaction? No, because when you eliminate some of the outside interference, when you eliminate some of the elements that really drove fans in the Death Riders, whether it was that attack on Bryan Danielson and some of the ganging up on people and taking advantage of situations and the shortcuts of the Death Riders, I thought the commentators did a great job telling the story, that it made sense. You know, if you're a wrestling fan, I'm a wrestling fan. I love pro wrestling. So to your point, since I love wrestling, I was expecting that, because I believe that if you put Jon Moxley out there against great wrestlers and eliminate some of the shortcuts that made the Death Riders such unpopular villains, but also huge antagonists and great stars throughout what has been such an important year in AEW, and the Death Riders as antagonists driving a television show where they were featured on basically every show throughout the year, often as the most villainous, dark people in the company. I also believe that as a wrestling fan, seeing this tournament, if you look at it, knowing Jon Moxley, especially having seen throughout the tournament that Jon Moxley really was getting positive reactions going into tonight. No, I wasn't surprised by that. I kind of expected that might be the case, because he's always been a popular star, and I think that the Continental Classic, and again, when you go back, if you haven't heard all the commentary on the matches, I thought the commentary team, including Bryan Danielson, did a great balanced job of explaining why it makes sense that the crowd's responding like this, because even though Jon Moxley, even to Bryan himself in this arena, had done some really dark things, the beauty of the Continental Classic, and again, Jon articulated some of this in his post-match interview that was so brilliant, I think, explaining the beauty of the Continental Classic when he said that the tournament, the 12 wrestlers, the championship he won represents the 12 wrestlers in the tournament, 12 plus 1 really, with Darby having been involved and getting knocked out due to injury, and the spirit of wrestling that the tournament bred. So I thought that it was a beautiful thing, and I thought when he was able to win and give that speech afterwards, you know, you hear a lot of great promos, a lot of great interviews in pro wrestling. People say great things. The Continental Classic is known for great matches. I thought it was a great tournament, 33 matches, and again, some of the best matches ever in the tournament were this year. And tonight, some of the best matches, but also throughout the tournament, you sometimes hear great interviews, whether in the ring or backstage. Tonight, I thought his words were very powerful. And the Continental Classic is a great tournament. What's interesting about it in the Continental Championship, in wrestling, sometimes all the emphasis is put on a world championship that is incredibly an important thing. And Jon Moxley's such a decorated world champion. He's been the world champion here 4 times, and I believe 6 times in the world of wrestling. He's the only man who's ever held the AEW World Championship, the WWE World Championship, and the IWGP World Championship. Has been the international champion. It's the first time he's been the Continental Champion, and I thought what he said was very compelling, because the Continental Classic as a tournament is something that is now just in 3 years, and I guess now 99 matches in 3 years, that has built such a reputation that throughout AEW, there's an entire locker room. Every top star, top champions, whether top champions in AEW, world champions in AEW and other promotions, and top stars, champions, past, current, future, all lining up that want to be part of the 12-man lineup, the 6-man Gold League and the 6-man Blue League. People want to be in this tournament. And I thought that what Jon Moxley said was so powerful, because he's right, that the championship represents the 12 people in the tournament. Now he can fight to try to keep it and go wire to wire. You know, we saw Okada hold the championship, defend it many times, as they said, and he won the tournament last year. He tried to go wire to wire and came so close. I thought for a great tournament to see that response. No, I was not surprised, but maybe it's because as wrestling fans, we all kind of what's great about wrestling is, and I think if I asked all the people in here to name their top 20 wrestlers, I bet we'd get all different answers. You'd get a few people that might be on multiple lists for sure, but I bet that we would get all different answers. But then there's other instincts that are common where you get a crowd that comes together and they're connected because they do share a lot of common instincts. And as a fan, I just felt like that was how people would probably react, and what a tournament it was. And it really tells the story of how powerful the wrestling of the Continental Classic is, and how it can elicit powerful reactions. Thanks for asking.
Last question for Tony.
Okay, my last question for you might seem like the most easy one as we go into 2026. You hear a lot of people talk about New Year's resolutions. You hear all those kind of things. For AEW, if there was one thing that you could pinpoint that you would like to see happen in 2026 that you think could move AEW to its next level, whatever that might be from, a person in your spot. And Renee, I also wanted to ask you, since we're talking about Mox, what are your thoughts on him having those 2 submission losses for him to get the Continental Classic tonight?
Yeah, it's tough to see him have submission losses like that. It definitely showed me a different side of him that I had not seen. The thing that I found really interesting with that, though, was the way that he was able to recover from losses like that. He wasn't coming home and it wasn't bleeding into the next day, in the sense that, like, he goes back to work, but he works on himself. He is down in the gym until God knows what hours in the morning, working on his body, working on his mobility. His diet is so dialed in. Like, the guy works his ass off more than I've ever seen. So to see him bounce back from having losses like that to what he's been able to do through the tournament, and having a bit of a rough start at the beginning of the tournament, but to close out as strong as he did, was such a testament to that. He wasn't necessarily, going off of whatever that last loss might have been. It was, stop, refocus, go into the next match, get that win. And, I think that we've spoken about it before, but I think when it comes down to the wire and it comes down to those big match moments, John's always going to be the guy that's going to cross the finish line.
Absolutely. And for us, I absolutely agree. I echo those sentiments, and that really is very conducive and very similar, I think, to also the sentiment. I feel the same way in response to the last question. I think those were great points, and I think that's part of why everything just came together and the fans connected so well with his comeback in the tournament, from being in the hole and coming back and scoring the big wins, and the odds being against Jon Moxley, and him responding the way that he did. And for AEW in 2026, I want us to continue to have the very best wrestling shows. I think we've got the great media relationship that has fueled AEW and helped us grow and expand as a wrestling promotion from where we started, and continue to grow from having 2 hours of TV and now having 4 great hours of TV, and putting out some of the best shows we've ever done, expanding our pay-per-view calendar, and now, in addition to having TBS and TNT, now also having HBO Max. These are the relationships and the key relationship, Warner Brothers Discovery, that fuels the company. But we also have these international relationships. We're in 150 countries. So we've got this great partnership here with Warner Brothers Discovery. I think we are expanding into new territories, expanding our TV and streaming worldwide, and visiting new places. We had a great event in Mexico with Grand Slam Mexico. Our partnership with CMLL is huge. I want to continue working with CMLL and having events in Mexico, Grand Slam Mexico. Again, we've got Grand Slam, of course, going back to Australia. We had a great event in Brisbane. I can't wait to have Grand Slam going to Sydney. And I'm so excited about AEW, like I said, building media partnerships. We've got a great relationship with ITV, with Dynamite being up over 50% year over year in the ratings on ITV4, now Collision being up over 60% in the ratings year over year, and that bodes really well going back to Wembley Stadium for next year. So these are all really important milestones, building out those relationships and growing the partnerships that we have domestically and internationally. That's been the recipe for success for us. So I think we continue doing that, but really our bread and butter product is wrestling, great wrestling shows, matches and rivalries, and putting together great shows, whether it's the Christmas Collision we put together on this past Thursday night on Christmas night that I thought was one of the best collisions we've ever done. Tonight, a great pay-per-view to cap off maybe the best year of pay-per-views. And now we got one more Dynamite to cap off all the great Dynamites we've had this year on New Year's Eve. But you asked what we could do next year, I think continuing to excel. If we're here, sitting here next year, I thought we're ending this year of pay-per-views and coming to the last Dynamite of the year on Wednesday on New Year's Eve at probably what I would consider to be, just in my opinion, a very high note as a promotion. And if we could sit here and feel like we're ending the year on a really high positive note next year, that's going to be amazing. I never want to look success and take that for granted. I'm very proud of what we've been able to do, and I think we should all just take a moment and enjoy it. It's really great. The fans of the company to sit here and think in a year, I can tell you the wrestlers and the staff and everybody backstage, it feels like from where we were at the end of 24 to 25, like we've made really positive strides. Everyone feels really good about World's End. We sold more tickets this year. I think the pay-per-view's done really well. The first year of the new TV agreement has been fantastic. The shows have been great. The vibes are great. We've got the best wrestlers in the world, just in my opinion, and I think we can continue to keep that going, and that'll make it a great 2026. So if we're sitting here next year and talking about the end of the year being all positive and award season and it's all positive vibes and your questions are also positive, then we'll know we're in a good place at the end of 26 when we're sitting here a year from now. And on that note, I do want to say, since you're all here, and if anybody traveled, if there's anybody here that came to ask a question, I want to be accommodating. So if there is, I know we said last question, but if there is anybody that came all the way here to ask, is there anybody that didn't get to ask anything yet or wanted to ask something that didn't ask yet? Okay, great. Well, I appreciate it. Is there one? Okay.
We had one.
Good. I want to make sure we get you
One
all.
taker.
Heck yeah.
Hi, Phil from Bleacher Report.
Hey, Phil.
You made it official that Hyan and Maya World are officially all elite tonight. When did you make that decision, and what do you think they add to your women's division?
I think they've been doing a fantastic job. Thank you for asking. Hyan and Maya World came in. They've delivered time after time. They've been putting on great matches. They've been getting more and more competitive, and I think they're putting on fantastic matches, and everybody in the locker room really respects them. They bring something great to the roster. We've been having great women's tag team matches and having more and more strong wrestlers on the roster for singles and tag teams, because they're both good individual wrestlers too. And we've worked with them more in individual wrestlers, and since we've added the great tag team wrestling, and the Babes of Wrath had a great defense of the World Tag Team Championship tonight, I thought Hyan and Maya World would make a great addition to the roster. Every experience I've had with both of them individually and as a team has been positive. They had a great match again on the 0 Hour. Julia Hart, the former TBS champion, and the hometown Sky Blue picked up the win. And I thought that was great, but I also thought that Hyan and Maya World had been a real positive. So I thought on a positive note to end the year of 2025 with so many great things in AEW. They've been a great thing, and wanted to make it official that Hyan and Maya World are both all elite. Thank you for asking. And this has been great. I really appreciate you all being here. It's been such a great year of AEW. Thank you for coming in. I don't take it lightly, you all coming in. I know some of you are from around here, but a lot of you traveled in for the show and come to a lot of the events. Some of you have been covering us from the very beginning. This has been such a great year for AEW, and to be around now for over 6 years and celebrating some of these accolades and thinking about how far we've come, and knowing that we're all looking forward to a big New Year's Eve show Wednesday and continuing to celebrate big firsts in AEW. I don't take it all lightly. I'm very grateful. God bless you all, and I hope that you all have a great rest of the weekend, and I'll see you for New Year's Eve. We'll have a great New Year's Eve and celebrate New Year's Eve together and party out a great year together on New Year's Smash on this Wednesday night on Dynamite. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Thank you, Renee.
Thanks,
That's great.
man.
Let's go.